And stick around to the end of the outline. You'll be glad that you did, because we are going to jump into this topic once again, and that is this. LCX, is it still standing behind those statements of being a quote unquote bank? Is that still a valid statement now in or towards the end of August 2024? Well, I think the answer is yes, but I'm going to give you an outline on why I believe that. And of course, Rue has some material for us as well. So people have asked me, they stated, Max, when it comes to LCX, here's what I need to know. Can I use it being in the United States? Here's the answer for you. Well, there's a technicality, but the answer is yes. And where I'm going with this is this. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen. So it's this LCX terminal. And what I mean by that is it's kind of like a technicality in itself, because it says since LCX terminal itself is not an exchange, a smart trading software to execute trades on several exchanges and cryptocurrencies, here's your plug and connect if it's going to allow you to basically use this in America. So yes, the terminal itself will enable that. All right, as we know, LCX founder Monty Metzger is behind LCX, but some people even ask me this: LCX, what makes it so special? Well, it says by offering a tokenized asset, LCX can provide a bridge between traditional financial markets and, of course, the blockchain ecosystem. LCX also operates as a regulated cryptocurrency exchange for trading digital currencies and conducting, of course, token sales, right? There's this other statement that gets brought up all the time. Is LCX a bank? Well, it says a blockchain bank for the new financial world. LCX's goal is to become one of the world's largest, or excuse me, one of the world's first, I should say, licensed and supervised blockchain banks, seamlessly blending traditional and crypto assets. Now, this was well written, okay? And I'm going to bring you over to this. This is actually from Indeed. And, what really stood out for me here is some of these statements you're going to see in the outline. And basically, it's this right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down. So it says first potential blockchain-based bank and its implications for ISO 222. Now, a lot of you guys feel as though that this is not new news, but guess what? It is to the sense about their plans. So this statement about how, there's a sleeping giant that a lot of you guys still feel as though is going to do bigger and better things than Binance. But LCX, according to the World Economic Forum, yes, I know, eating Z bugs, states that by 2027, more than 8 trillion will be stored on blockchain networks. Now, there's a key finding that I have that I'm going to get into this outline for you guys. It's somewhat new, but LCX plans to be at the forefront of this pivotal point, like it says in history. I'm going to give you the 101 on all this, but what I want you guys to understand is when you see statements like this about Bitcoin-backed bonds, this is where LCX really, really will shine. So this part about the fixed returns, Bitcoin-backed bonds offer fixed returns, providing investors with a predictable income stream over the bond's duration. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this for you guys tonight in the outline is this. So much talk about ETFs to the point where that we're all blue in the face. And while all those things matter and can cause significant, price pumps for the overall crypto market for obviously Bitcoin, because Bitcoin and Ethereum represent 81% of the overall crypto market, you got to keep in mind it's where the smart money is and what the institutions are also, of course, doing. Here's some notes I want to get into. And it's like this. Does Binance, since that's always being brought up, have Bitcoin-backed bonds? Well, here's what I gathered. In a nutshell, Binance does not currently offer Bitcoin-backed bonds as a direct investment product. However, El Salvador's Volcano bonds do, and these are Bitcoin-backed bonds issued, of course, by the government of El Salvador. Now, that's a government, right? Not necessarily an exchange, an actual government. So been there, done that. But while the concept, of course, is innovative, it's essential to understand that these are sovereign bonds and not corporate securities, of course, offered by Binance. Does Binance have a role in this connection with El Salvador? Well, as we know, even though Binance does seem to be the biggest name in all of crypto exchanges, You have to keep in mind it's the derivatives and it's the trading pairs, whether it's Tether and some of these other ones. But as of now, from what I gather, there is no Bitcoin-backed bonds directly available, of course, on Binance's platform. That separates it itself, LCX Liechtenstein exchange, of course, from Binance. Is there more considerations to look into? Answer is yes on that. And that is this: understanding the underlying asset of Bitcoin. This is actually El Salvador's main currency, right? As for quite a few years now, right? What was it, about 2 or 3, give or take? But it's understanding that there's got to be more to it than, as the saying goes, meets the eye. As I got more into it myself, I decided to go over to the actual LCX site. What do you see? Tokenized bonds. Well, I know this, Max. I get that. A lot of people don't. But making this statement about a world's first tokenized bond denominated in Euro, Bitcoin, and even Ethereum, and of course the native token does stand out. Because when you hear terms like this about security tokens, this is back to the reference of Larry Fink of BlackRock. Why? Because it says security tokens are based on security prospectus endorsed by financial market regulator, available in verified retail investor sectors, I should say, in 30 countries. And of course, this statement. Yeah, you can earn 7% fixed yield on some of these bonds. How so? Literally says it right here. Whether it's euros, Bitcoin, and of course Ethereum, and even the native token. That right there would be utility put into motion. All right, is that all I have? No, because I want you guys to understand this as well. And that is basically, there's got to be a bigger picture here. Well, yes, there is. Because when we go back to the whole notion that, LCX boasting that they're the first blockchain bank, is it still true? Is it still valid? Yes. While LCX is not technically a bank in the traditional sense, it does aim to provide many services that basically traditional banks offer, and that would leverage its particular platform. Now, this is stuff that we want to hear about. While this seems new in itself, the term blockchain bank is still being defined. Now, when regulations kick in, if you have one that's already laid down the framework and crossed his T's and dotted his I's, this will create more supply and demand forces. But how so? There hasn't been a lot that's been mentioned in regards to LCX on their site and so on. I'm with you. But you got to keep in mind this. It's LCX's connection and, of course, their focus. While LCX doesn't have the same regulatory oversight as a traditional bank, it does have significant strides in building relationships, partnerships within, of course, the financial industry. And I'm going to get into roughly 4 key areas that you need to listen, especially if you hold the Liechtenstein exchange token. And that is this. They do have focus on digital assets. How so? LCX in itself provides basically primarily deals with like digital assets, offering services, obviously trading, but it's custody and tokenization. And those are 2 key areas, if you jump into more of the interviews, that Larry Fink and BlackRock put a lot of emphasis on. But back to the whole notion of regulatory compliance. The platform itself emphasizes its commitment to regulatory compliance, and we know that is a crucial step towards building trust, of course, with also the traditional sector of institutions. Is there partnerships? Yes, there still is partnerships with LCX, but it doesn't get mentioned a lot. LCX has partnered with various financial institutions, regulators, to bridge the gap between traditional finance and, of course, the blockchain world. Are they still innovative, though? Yes. The platform in itself is involved in developing new financial products, not just what you saw with TIA and Tiamins and some of these other things that you see, right? Like, for example, LeoX. But it's the concept of this blockchain bank. And where I'm going with that is this. We keep hearing that, and if anything, that might have been why you got into it. But it implies a financial institution that primarily uses blockchain technology, of course, in its operations, hence the term blockchain bank. But by offering services like deposits, loans, payments, LCX will, and in my opinion, is a pioneer in this space. But will they be the key pioneer for ISO 222 moving forward? I think that answer is yes. And where I'm going with it is this. We are not at the point of mass adoption. We are not in a lot of this stuff, basically. But when we get these flip of the switch moments, right? Mandates. Well, when we talk about who will be the custodian, say what you want. If you have an institutional exchange, that would create huge supply and demand factors that we've never seen before. So while we understand that LCX is a leading player in blockchain-based financial services industry, yes, it's technically not a traditional bank, but the company, however, is actively working, as we know, to bridge the gap, no pun intended, between traditional finance and, of course, the digital asset world, and is doing some things. Now, where I'm going also with this is back to the LCX site, because you'll see on your screen a little bit more of an elaboration on the whole topic, and that is this. They have many different countries where you can earn. They have different asset classes, especially this one. The token itself is a security token, but it represents a new asset class. When we talk about RWA, enter in LCX. And of course, there's this. Straight from the World Economic Forum. I know, guys, I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of them at all. But where I'm going with this is this. The WEF still has it posted here. And last I checked, they do consistently post information and they try to keep it valid and up to date. So why am I bringing this to you guys? Well, basically, the reason for it is jumping into this where you're going to see this full screen. It says, straight from the WEF, LCX is indeed a blockchain bank, word for word, for the new financial world. LCX's goal is to become one of the first that is licensed and supervised to be a blockchain bank seamlessly, where they can blend traditional and crypto assets. LCX will be offering next generation digital asset exchange, security token exchange, and most importantly, even crypto. LCX is focused on helping both traditional and blockchain market participants make the most of their opportunities. And of course, like it says, LCX founded in 2018, based in Vaduz, Liechtenstein. LCX is building the infrastructure to power the professional crypto finance. And of course, links you over to there. Say what you want, look into it for yourself. A lot of times when something becomes outdated or some kind of partnership ended, the WEF gets right on top of that. All right, now taking you over to this. There was an update, and here's what's important. Over on the LCX site, they have where they talk about key benefits of LCX and a new partner. Who's his partner? It is the BCB Group partnership. Now, this is what's really, really interesting, and I'm going to give you a highlight here in a second. So they talk about through BCB, LCX can offer seamless fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat transactions, significantly enhancing user experience by simplifying deposit and withdrawal processes. Well, is BCB also regulatory compliant like LCX is? Yes. They offer a highly regulated framework, ensuring that LCX Exchange maintains compliance with global financial regulators. This fosters, of course, security, trading environment, and also builds trust. Also helps with liquidity. But here is what I gathered. When we go over to their site, this is extremely interesting, and nobody is talking about this. And I really mean that. If you go to bcbgroup.com, what does it literally say, plain as day? BCB Group does not offer services to retail customers. Interesting. With so much talk about what's going on with ETFs, but this is why a lot of us hold LCX. So for one, if they have this partnership with LCX, and we understand that LCX is a blockchain bank, and we understand that there's this partnership here, then why in the world would this matter? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. When you see statements about that they are the leading gateway, cutting edge, et cetera, to some of these other services, and I'll keep it right here, it says payment counts in a major world of currencies, but they go on to mention that they're leading these solutions for digital asset economy. But look at this, 24/7, 365. Doesn't that kind of sound like FedNow? Yeah, it sounds like FedNow, but not from the retail side, from an institutional side, because they do not offer services to retail consumers. So what would happen from here? In my opinion, again, just my own opinion from the research, that is this. it creates more supply and demand because it'll make LCX in the future that much harder to get and that much harder to hold. And that is why I want to bring it to you. And that is not all that I have, but to see that this was the latest that was provided in regards to a partnership a few months ago for LCX and how it flew under the radar. Well, say what you want. That is of concern, not in a bad way, but a lot of people complaining about the price. Understand this: price narrative is from the retail narrative, and there's another narrative out there, and that is what the institutional connection is. So, for one, World Economic Forum does recognize them officially as being a blockchain bank. And number two, this new partnership. And where I'm going on the last part of it is where it says rapidly growing business providing payment services, of course, to the customers. What customers, everybody? Institutional customers. And it's not available to retail. So the world has entered a new era of money and value. The future depends on strong institutional foundations today. Their vision about empowering a global revolution, they already recognize what's going on. And of course, like I said, mission focus. Aspire to connect, bank. Look what it says, bank. You guys always wonder, oh, this statement of LCX, blockchain bank. Boom. We aspire to connect and bank the global crypto industry. But again, back to this statement of does not offer services to retail consumers. I think in the future, when we have mass adoption, this is going to age really, really well. So this is not a huge outline that I have about the Liechtenstein exchange. But if anything, I'm glad to bring it to you guys because I think this is something that flew under the radar that a lot of people aren't talking about. Are you holding LCX through all the storms of all this retail narrative, or are you looking into the nitty gritty of what is going on behind the scenes? A lot of times we get news about partnerships, but no one's looking into why these are significant. That right there is significant because if institutions are wanting to hold LCX to be partnered with them, but they don't want anything to do with retail, watch out for that. That's where the real money is at. And if anything, I want to get your thoughts and also your outline, Rue.
So guys, I've heard, and I don't have receipts for this, but I've heard that LCX is held, or they royalty holds them, right? I can imagine, and we also know, right, that the banks, most of the world's biggest banks, are located in Switzerland, and that's where Liechtenstein's like right next door. So everything kind of makes sense there as far as LCX goes. And a lot of research I've done, I've seen that the MiCA laws were basically LCX were the guinea pig for those. Like they were just the start of it. So really, 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 really like LCX, and right away they've been partnered with people like Hedera, Quant, like some of the biggest players out there right now as far as cryptocurrency and cryptocurrency in the world sphere goes. Okay, I just have a couple things to hit you guys with LCX. One of which I think is like very huge is that Tether is now available on LCX. I did not think I would see this happen on LCX. First of all, LCX is a member of the World Economic Forum. Max just showed you that, and how the World Economic Forum lists them as a blockchain bank. Guess who else is a member of the World Economic Forum? Circle. So I never thought I'd see the day where LCX is listing Tether, but that kind of goes into my whole theory that Tether will be like the BRICS stablecoin, and USDC will be like the GC, the G7 stablecoin as far as the American dollar is concerned. So it's very, very interesting that Tether gets listed on LCX. Also of note, Tether I think also has the digital yuan that they have on Tron on Tether as well. So I I really do think the Tether will be kind of the BRICS side of things, and USDC the like American / British side of things. So this is huge to me, huge to me. And then the second thing here is that LCX is getting French users, France, if you will, French users, and basically regulatory concerns kind of booted out. And we'll come over here and show that to you. Regulatory concerns kind of booted out. I think it's Bybit from France, and now LCX is just soaking up all their users. LCX has been dedicated to upholding integrity since its inception. We welcome all Bybit customers with a special onboarding campaign. Sign up, 13, I think that's euro, only for France users. Okay. Cryptocurrency exchange Bybit official has said it's withdrawing its services from France in response to regulations in the country. So literally the red carpet is being rolled out for LCX. And that
supply and demand. Yep, absolutely. That creates more demand for the token. And again, some people will flood it and say, well, the price ain't moving right now. Right. Watch out when regulations are in full effect. What ones do you think will shine? That's where I'm at with it.
Right. Like you can just see it in real time with this, that they're literally setting up the regulations to kind of have LCX win. And this kind of reminds me of remember when Grayscale were dumping all their Bitcoin and BlackRock was just buying it all up. So it's basically like they're just like, okay, Bybit, you're done in France. Okay. Like, okay. LCX, now you're going to get all those customers. All right, sure.
Yeah, it creates tremendous demand.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I guess all the Bybit people are probably just go over to LCX. I don't know, is Binance an option in France? I really don't know. I'm not French, so I don't know. Or so we'll have to see. But I would think especially with this deal, the sign up reward thing they have going on, perhaps they get a lot of Bybit's people.
Some great finds as usual, my friend.
Yep. So, very, very high on LCX. And that's all I have for you guys there.
Guys, help Rue scale up. He definitely deserves it. Here's his channel at Black Rue for both YouTube and also X. Here it is for X again. And with that said, you have the last word.
Thanks so much, guys. It's always a blast. Thanks for always being welcoming as a community. I so much appreciate it. If you feel like I've earned your guys' trust, please come on over, like and subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. Thanks for always being welcoming to me, guys. I appreciate that.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. Say goodbye to complicated setups and hello to Decent Wallet, the hassle-free solution to your digital currency needs. With just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.